In this video, we're going to talk about the characteristics of quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is a type of polygon, and it's two-dimensional. What this means is that it only has a length and a width, and it's flat. A quadrilateral is also closed, meaning we don't have a shape like this, where there's an opening. We have straight edges and not curved edges. And then a quadrilateral means four. So a quadrilateral has four sides, four angles, and four vertices. Finally, the sum of the angles, or when you add all of the angles, you get 360 degrees. Let's talk about some of the common regular quadrilaterals. The first two regular quadrilaterals are squares and rectangles. On the left, we have a square, and on the right, we have a rectangle. What do you notice about both of these shapes? If you noticed that they both have right angles, you're correct. Both of them have four right angles. What else do you notice? Well, if you notice that on a square, all the sides are equal, and on a rectangle, only opposite sides are equal, you're correct. That's the main difference between a square and a rectangle. The final rule is that opposite sides are parallel. And that's true for both shapes. So the main difference between a square and a rectangle is that on a square, all the sides are equal, whereas on a rectangle, only opposite sides are equal. So a square actually fits the definition of a rectangle. However, a rectangle does not fit the definitions of a square. Let's move on to the next two regular quadrilaterals. The first is a rhombus. Rhombuses are also known as diamonds. And then on the right, we have a parallelogram. What do you notice about these two shapes? If you notice that they don't have the right angles like the square and the rectangle, you're correct. On a rhombus, though, just like a square, all four sides are equal. Whereas with the parallelogram, only opposite sides are equal. Now, neither one of them has right angles like the square and the rectangle, but the opposite angles are equal. That's also true on the parallelogram. The opposite angles equal each other. The final rule is that opposite sides are parallel. A rhombus fits the definition of a parallelogram, but a parallelogram does not fit the definition of a rhombus. To me, it almost looks like the parallelogram is a stretched out version of a rhombus. Let's talk about two more types of regular quadrilaterals. The first is a trapezoid. And then on the left, we have a kite. What do you notice about these two shapes that makes them different than the other ones? Neither of these shapes have right angles. Plus, the other one's opposite sides were parallel and opposite angles were equal. Other than having four sides, trapezoids only have one rule. They only have one set of parallel sides. The rule for a kite is that adjacent pairs of sides are equal. If you notice, this blue side and this blue side are adjacent and they are equal. This red side and the other red side are adjacent and they are also equal. Now that we know the types of regular quadrilaterals, let's find missing angles in quadrilaterals. This question says to find the missing angle. So we're looking for this angle here. A quadrilateral has a total or a sum of 360 degrees. So we can say that 86 plus 90 plus 114 plus x, which is the one we don't know, equals 360. Now we have an equation we can solve. We need to first add 86, 90, and 114. When we add those, we get 290. We can rewrite the rest of the equation, and now all we have to do is to get x by itself. We do that by subtracting 290 from both sides. That leaves us with x on the left-hand side, and then 360 minus 290 gets us 70. So x must be 70 degrees. Go ahead and pause the video and try to find the missing angle of this quadrilateral on your own. Now let's see how you did. We're looking for this angle here. The sum of the angles is 360. So you can take 120 plus 95 plus 85 plus x and get a total of 360. First step is to add the angles that you already know. That gets us 300. So now we have 300 plus x equals 360. We need x by itself, so subtract 300 from both sides. That leaves us with x equals 60. So we know the missing angle is 60 degrees.